G2 sits happily at the top of our bracket here at the DreamHack Pro Circuit, patiently waiting to see who will join them and try and contest their attempt here to acquire the DreamHack Montreal crown. Hello, I am your host, Wade Dreadnought Penfold, and our teams with the opportunity to join them up there is going to be the Peeps and Renault Vitality. It is a very, very interesting tale unfolding here. Gibbs and Turtle, guys, the reason I say it is interesting is the youth and hope coming out of the Peeps mixed with the just accredited, oh my experience of Renault Vitality.
David versus Goliath, and it's just nuts, because normally like a team, like if they're young and they make a run, it's like, well, they had one other run maybe a year ago or so. No, the Peeps, this is the first time on a championship Sunday they're making moves.
Yeah, and I mean, they're young players, but then you look at the other side, and there's Scrub Killer at the youngest age pretty much, and he has been a prodigy, and now he's sitting happily at the top, and he's trying to get back there at this DreamHack, and it is going to be intense.
So let's talk about some of the positives as to why the Peeps have found themselves in this position, right? We have, first thing I think you got to consider on the front line, an offensive front, is Reynolds and the impact he's had there. But then when you look at the last series, Gyro. The man played out of his mind. Even tweeted that was the best series he has ever played in his life. And he's going to need to do it again if they're going to win here.
That might be the best game I've ever seen from him. Game 5, when everything's on the line, he basically helps 4 out of those 5 goals and does it almost by himself. It was an insane performance.
Yeah, so much decision making. But then we also have Vitality that going up against Cloud9. They almost lost in a reverse sweep, and then all of a sudden they pull it back again, showing that they're ruthless and they're here, and they can swing the momentum back, which is so important. And it's whoever starts out right now. But that's what I was saying, right? Whoever starts out does well, and then all of a sudden NRG, I see them start out super well, and then G2 swings back again.
Well, I want to bring it to another element that we've correlated with success at this event, which again hits an interesting point in this story, and that was passion. The amount of heart being displayed by these teams was something that we looked at as something likely to carry their momentum. 2 teams that display more than almost anyone else is the Peeps and the opposite side of Renault Vitality. So who has the more heart here? Is that an element that we have to consider?
I think it's neutral, right? Like both teams are just looking so strong. Like the problem is, like I think if the Peeps, like if they do get down early, we talk about when you are extremely emotional, what happens when you start losing, because there's also that negative side. But we saw with the Peeps, they battled back. So we just don't know, because at this point, Scrub Killer, it looks like he's going to have a heart attack every time a goal is scored. So I don't know how he's going to survive a best of 7. I honestly don't.
We could get another Cooksier moment where he's grabbing his heart,
I just don't
trying to survive, dude. How do you even depict what's going to go on? Because one side you have, like you said, the youth who's fighting for, you know, a spot. And then you also have the Kings who are trying to fight for the top spot and reclaim it.
Yeah, we heard from Fairy Peak. It's like, all right, we weren't that hungry throughout the offseason, but they want to win this tournament. They want to come back extremely strong, so then they go into Season 8 like as the odds-on favorites. And right now, they're backing it up.
Yeah, and you can tell that we are painting a pretty dark picture here for the Peeps. A lot to be proven, and I know a lot of you here in the crowd are big fans of them. We're going to waste no more time here. Let's get down to the stage here as we are ready to get our second semifinals underway. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me introduce to the stage the ardent adversaries of the Peeps.
Do not sleep on the Peeps. They were the 12th seed coming in, but no one thought they had a shot to even make day 3. They pick up Mist, who had a perfect season with Birds and the Bees for the rival series. He has joined forces with his rivals, the Peeps. Reynolds, he captained that team through the promotion playoffs and got the #1 seed out of that. They're going to be through the RLCS, and then of course explosive Gyro just had the game of his life, the series of his life, to bring them to the semi-finals. And finally, Moopy, he's helping these guys out, and James Bond has said he is the Gold Rush star. We see with the hat there. And these guys, they are the unknown, but can they beat the best?
And on the opposite side here, we have your reigning world champions and Europe's last hope. Help me introduce to the stage, Renault Vitality.
The current team sitting passionately on the throne, your previous world champions, Renault Vitality, starting off with Fairy Peak. finally getting his first major title with a stellar Grand Finals performance in Season 7. A once god himself, and then K-Dop, a player who's already created a dynasty in Rocket League, looking to do it again here with this Vitality roster. And then Scrub Killer, from Prodigy to King, your Season 7 World Championship MVP, fueling his teammates with his passion for the game. And then Greg, and he's been with this team for almost 2 years, and the amount of work he puts in is equal, if not exceeding, to these players in front of him.
This team, they have all the accolades, right? Everything. This is just another day for them.
Yeah.
They've been here before. They're every championship Sunday. K-Dop, he's like, I've won enough. It doesn't really matter at this point. There's no pressure on them, but they want to be ready for Season 8, and that is the only pressure they have.
I mean, it's crazy to think that they've been here so much, or at least K-Dop has, and then you look at them, and every time they win, we talk about passion. It looks like it's their first time up there.
I can't,
like that's the best part for Scrub Killer. Like, you bring him in, that youth where it's like, all right, K-Dop and Fairy Peak have been around the block. Obviously, Fairy, he was hungry for that first title, but he's been around. And Scrub Killer, sure, he just won the World Championship in his first chance, but he's like, no, I want to keep winning. I want to win forever, basically, for Scrub. And that energy just seems to help K-Dop so much, because he was on the greatest team of Rocket League ever with Dignitas, and he left them. He left them to join this team to play with Fairy Peak, his friend. And then what does he do? We'll just win the World Championship again.
Yeah, it seems like the step away is almost a trailblazing level of confidence from K-Dop to go, I can recreate and do it once more. And that passion is infectious from Scrub Killer, trickling on to the remainder of that roster. But we do know that does still exist within the Peeps, and that is why that is such an interesting moment. I can't help but feel like, for me, it all comes down to, do we get the gyro we got once more? And if so, this could be a very competitive setup. And
the one advantage that the Peeps have is probably Vitality hasn't played them all that much. They probably weren't worrying about them during scrims. They're probably like, oh, hey, G2, hey, Energy, let's try to do some scrims. Or you go to TSM or teams that you know. But the Peeps are that unknown. They were through the rival series. We haven't seen them yet, like, on the big stage. So maybe that's the one advantage they have here.
Yeah, I mean, and they're going up against the kings of Rocket League right now. And I love how it's coming full circle right now for Vitality if they can make it to the Grand Finals. I mean, this is the last DreamHack of the year, and it's the last Pro Circuit right now. So can they had like a rough offseason. They're coming back. They're looping around right before the beginning of the next season, trying to end up back on top.
So they have all those accolades, and we talk about K-Dop all the time, that 3-time champion. No DreamHack title. So he wants that.
That was the one thing I was going to bring up. They have won everything, as long as you can look at Worlds of that, because technically, you know, there is a little bit left to be desired when it comes to the world of DreamHack. If they're going to acquire it, they have to win this series here against the Peeps. So now, let's get this thing going. I'm going to send you to the casting crew. It's James Bott and Achieves.
Thank you very much, Dreadnought. Really appreciate it. But tell me what you think of this, James.
I mean, I'm just experiencing this event, appreciating this event. What a way to send the DreamHack Pro Circuit out.
Absolutely.
Then other than this, you know, we've had the best series that we've seen in succession.
A couple.
Over and over and over. This event has been incredible, and the journey of the Peeps has also been just an unbelievable journey. A team that just gets into the RLCS. Now they're going up against former world champions, or current world champions, to try to get to the grand finals of this DreamHack Pro Circuit final in Montreal.
And that is all that really need be said about what that means to the Peeps. It's like, oh, if you beat the world champions, all right, we'll see.
You must be pretty good.
We'll see in the RLCS play-in tournament is how that's going to translate into your minds. You're going to feel real good if you come out on top.
But I mean, it's what kind, if you're a viewer, I mean, if you're you, Achieves, how do you have any more emotion left to leave out on the field? It has been such an emotional day today.
Just the series against Mouse was a lot.
So we'll see how this one pans out.
So, the ultimate test in the World Champions for the Peeps. And they will certainly have their work cut out for them. As if they play similar strategy they played versus Mouse, well, you already seen Vitality beat it when they played against Cloud9 with the long clears, so they'll see if they can get more out of Gyro with the slow game if they have the space.
They certainly attacked that backboard, and that seemed to work against Mouse. We saw a few misreads on the backboard, but Gyro just right spot, right time. However, we've seen Vitality. The team play's already coming out. A missile from the pass from Fairy.
Strong start for Vitality. Reynolds actually in position for this, but kind of overplays it just a little bit, doesn't stay disciplined, rotating into the net, and perfect placement from Scrub Killer to go behind the last man. And a strong shot where Vitality opens it up.
And that was my worry after seeing how Peeps played last time. How are they going to deal with a team that's so good at those infield passes? And also the physicality that Vitality had in the first 2 games against Cloud9. They just dominated, going for those bumps and demos. But now a good save coming out from K-Dop.
Some great pressure overall from the Peeps, in fact. Winning a lot of challenges. Keeping pressure on Vitality here. Can they dish it out to the middle? Reynolds has one for Mist. A bump on K-Dop, and he skies it high. Unfortunate, beautiful equalizing chance for the Peeps.
And we did see that opening coming from the backboard play, so we don't really see, you know, the Peeps mixing it up too much, but they're already getting chances to succeed. However, they just didn't get that shot on target.
Bouncing in the middle, Gyro, strong clear up the pitch. Nice bump on Scrub, actually plays him away from the ball even further. Mist just going for the block. Fairy Peak able to sneak it around him. Reddles needs to buy a few moments. Nice delay from Fairy Peak, almost found the second tap with the nose.
And he saw Scrub Killer in the middle. We've seen Scrub Killer score the last goal, just waiting for someone to dish it to him. And now the team passing play that one time, or that time it was K-Dop on the wall. Vitality, their attack is menacing.
And the Peeps had to have strong defense in their series against Mouse as well. And Vitality will definitely pick that apart, because that's what they did all of Season 7.
And Scrub getting demoed there, but it was a bit of a favor. He had nothing left in the boost tank. Gonna respawn with some here.
K-Dop looking for the cross, but the only people there are the Peeps. Gyro to himself. Reddle is trying to force Scrub Killer out of the play. K-Dop to help out. And Fairy Peak and Scrub Killer communicate. Pass up to K-Dop, waiting on the wall. Shot towards Terran. Oh my goodness. Vitality, 2 touches into the net.
And again, it's just the passing. The quick counterattack. Fairy up to K-Dop on the wall. We saw this attempt earlier. It was saved, but this time the Peeps had gone all in on that attack. And the quick counterattack from Vitality proving to be deadly.
Halfway through game 1 now. And the Peeps needing to figure out how to handle strong counterattacks from Vitality. Fallen victim to 2. Scrub Killer to K-Dop. Gyro, nice steal.
And also, in the Cloud9 series, K-Dop, his shooting was a little lackluster, which is not what you'd expect. So now that we see him appearing to be on point, Vitality really starting to look frightening.
Gyro, small mechanical error, leaves Scrub Killer with a dribble. Has to lose possession, though. Fairy Peak will need a little help. Scrub Killer waiting at the top of the box for this ball, but it's never going to find its way out there. Missed. Passing to Gyro, too far. K-Dop dribble. Fairy Peak on the right side, goes for the corner shot, and never mind, doesn't need the help. 3 goals for Vitality.
And again, we saw the play, but it just didn't develop. Gyro not in the right spot, and K-Dop putting it in. It looked like Reynolds was respawning there in the corner. And the quick counterattack yet again, this counterattack from Vitality, there has been no answer for it from the Peeps.
Well, they get themselves a kickoff possession. Can they hang on to it is the question. Bounce off the sidewall. Riddles. All 3 members of Vitality already waiting in the net. Easy defense for them. And time is ticking for the Peeps here in game 1. Vitality willing to play keep away, as we saw them do a few times in the Cloud9 series.
And this is such a different look than the Mouse series, which was a lot of back and forth. Vitality maintaining possession and using those passing plays to really just dismantle Peeps so far in game 1. But here is a backboard attempt. Fairy Peak still just shutting it down. Look at the size of that clear.
And it's a couple of tough hops in front of the net. Missed. Happy that nobody's there. K-Dop comes in a bit late. And so the Peeps looking for at least something to look forward to and adjust on game 2. But Vitality really just had some great counterattack pushes, able to find passes to their teammates, and put excellently placed balls behind defenders in position.
And that was a good win from Speed to get that chance. Now a shot. It's going to be weak, and now the counterattack is on. The setup to Fairy. Fairy going for the double. And then not panning out.
Gyro's had a couple of chances as well to maybe try and make something happen, but Vitality definitely ready for those. So the final 10 gonna tick down, and Vitality cruise to the finish line here in the first 5 minutes. And a well-deserved win to start things off, as Mist almost turns one in to close it out, but unfortunately turned aside right at the end. And so, a strong start for Vitality, and it started off early, just 4.5 minutes in.
The counterattacks, no answer to it from the Peeps. Gregan getting left hanging there with his fist bump. Hopefully you got that one. But honestly, Vitality, they just looked too fast, too composed for the Peeps. The Peeps.
Do you remember 11 shots from the Peeps, James?
I don't. And you know, a lot of times you have those weak bounce shots. And I mean, there were some good shots, even Missed at the end. He had that shot saved. But we didn't really see much of the attack that we saw. We saw attempted backboard attacks. We saw one opportunity from that, but they weren't able to take advantage. And yeah, then the counterattacks.
And you'll notice every single goal looks the same. Long clear out of the Vitality half. The Peeps not in position perfectly to be able to go up and challenge the pass, and then a strong shot into the back of the net. All three of those goals looked exactly that way.
So if you're the Peeps, though, you know, you've got to figure out this offense. Reynolds, 82 points down there, zeros across the board. Wasn't able to get involved. And the Peeps, I don't know if the game plan of attacking backboard is going to work against a team like Vitality.
Not without demos.
Yeah, and we saw them attempt the infield. The one infield pass play that sticks out in my mind was Mist going down for Gyro in the middle, and they just weren't on the same page. The timing wasn't there, and they weren't able to connect with it, and that actually led directly to a counterattack goal. So Peeps have a lot to figure out here in game 2.
Big one going to be how to handle the possession game, because the long clears, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle if you take that approach. So how do you force Vitality off the midfield line and bring the ball down and give yourself opportunities to make a big play? Pass it to the middle. K-Dop keeps it close. Cuts left and right. Really doesn't do much with it, though. Stolen away, and Gyro doesn't even waste his time going for the challenge in the corner. Elects to just give Vitality the ball, but now it's in almost a worse position. Makes a great save off the back of the net.
Yeah, and I love that decision from Gyro. He was so confident in his timing and really just cut out that angle.
Very peak. Great recovery effort after his teammate getting demoed in the net. Thought the Peeps would for sure have something. So a little bit of space now for Vitality, and a booming clear. This time Missed well and ready in position. Up to Gyro, is gonna need some help there. Doing a nice job sticking the ball as close to his car as possible on that approach, but never able to dish it out to a teammate in the midfield. Vitality circling and looking for demos, and they have to rotate back.
Every time you see Vitality going for a hit, it's towards another player. They're so good at finding each other, even in the midst of, you know, the pile of cars. They're still scoping out for that pass.
Reynolds thinking about challenging from the side wall, just lets his teammates in the net handle it. Quick bounce, here comes Scrub Killer, tipped off the nose, and a nice save from the Peeps. Reynolds out to Gyro, nicely met by K-Dop.
Strong defensive showing so far from Gyro in game 2, getting that, you know, wraparound save, and then also that save that we just saw. Now a chance to do something on the offensive end.
It's gonna be a tough redirect. Gyro just missing the nose. Would have been beautiful. Double tap opportunity. K-Dop needs this read. Missed, actually has to give up on it. Just in case K-Dop missed, he decided to take a chance on it. And that's really what you gotta do. You gotta have faith in your teammates to be behind you.
It's all about trust, especially with how fast the gameplay is nowadays. If you don't have trust in your teammates, that slight hesitation is gonna put you behind.
Well, Reddle's already up for this one. Mist is at the top of the box. There's the pass down, lower corner, and saved by Scrub Killer. Great save from Vitality.
The promising adjustments from the Peeps. That time going for the pass, almost finding its hit, or its mark rather.
Nice job for Mist, needing to keep that ball close, and Scrub. Solid defense out of the midfield, very peak. Thinking about going for demos, but now he needs to find a pass to a teammate. And I am liking what I'm seeing from the Peeps out of their own corner. Try and stick the ball as close as you can. Just beat one man and get something going. But again, this is that same well-structured, well-timed defense out of the midfield from Vitality that we saw in the Cloud9 series.
So it's all gonna come down to who can make that play. This game turning out to be a game of gridlock right now. No one making mistakes. The net on lockdown.
Solid challenge from Reddles. Not gonna have a second chance at it. K-Dop to delay, set it down for Scrub. Elects for the boost, will give up possession. Reddles, hopeful, but was never really gonna have much of a chance. The Peeps not expecting that ball to just punch out and around. Slow to pick this up. Little chip from Scrub out to the middle. Nice challenge from Gyro to buy a few extra seconds. Reynolds having to dodge a few demos, and that gives Peeps just enough time with a hard bounce towards middle.
K-Dop, a key clear there. Scrub Killer was going for demos. He was hoping that a teammate would shoot it on net. He was ready to go for that bump. Ended up getting a demo on his way out.
Missed, looking for the bump on K-Dop. And Gyro and Reddles figuring out how to handle those balls, and that's really the key right there. Whenever Vitality long clears it back to you, you need to be able to take that ball and do something with it. You can't just hand it right back.
We saw some of that in the Mouse series, a lot of long balls. But the Peeps have just adjusted so well after game one. But they're still trying to figure out how to break that Vitality defense.
Very peak. I'm sure he would have gone for the demo if Reddles had taken a different path, but a well-played ball up his own corner. And under the final minute now, I definitely agree. Peeps have adjusted wonderfully, but can they find a goal? Fairy Peak and Scrub almost getting each other's way.
But a good recovery from Scrub. Not only does he, recover after the double commit, he quickly gets the boost to get that clear downfield. And that's going to put Vitality on the attack. The save from Reynolds, follow-up from Mist. That gets it out of danger, but for how long?
It's a nice job from K-Dop trying to open the door with a bump on the goal line. Poised defense. Gyro towards the back post. Scrub Killer coming off the wall. Doesn't get a clean shot at it. And K-Dop coming out from the midfield line. Nice push out to the side wall. And Vitality, a couple of scary situations towards the end of the game. And this is no exception. Scrub Killer, beautiful pinch into the corner. Just quality. And they will make sure it gets to safety.
Yeah, Scrub faking out multiple players to force this overtime. The backboard has been denied. It is closed for business. How will the Peeps find out how to open those doors?
Nice job from K-Dop there to come in and still win possession for Vitality, despite Scrub Killer coming up with a missed touch.
And Vitality looked so good in game one, finding each other on the counterattacks. The counterattack hasn't been working. So we'll see what they have up their sleeve.
Had a much more difficult time finding passes to teammates. That's for sure. Reddles applying pressure, not able to get a shot on target. Missed all the way across. Gyro's up for it, stolen away. Long clear up the pitch, and Reddles needs to buy a lot of time here. Nice pressure from Mist on the rotation back to deny the easy shot, and still able to make the save.
And that was such a big clear from Ferry. He had barely any boost, and not only does he get the hit, but he puts it towards net to force Reddles to hit it to the corner.
Mist, slow play. Wants that backboard touch, and you're absolutely right. Close for business. Reddles on target, easy save from Fairy Peak. He's got K-Dop. Back towards the middle is where Fairy Peak is. There's the pass. Off the backboard, Scrub Killer thinking about it. Gyro's got a tough play, and that is finally going to sneak through, but it's too high. Reddles' second chance, and the Peeps escape disaster.
And Scrub, he saw Gyro wasn't on the right line to get a hit, but he bounces the shot high, but he's going to town on the bumps. Vitality, they could have ended it there.
Oh, back pass, Reddles in the one-on-one, but he has no boost, and Fairy Peak says no. Try again later. Stolen away by Mist, easy save for K-Dop. Long clear up the pitch for Vitality, and Reddles just to buy time.
I love that play from Fairy Peak. Now K-Dop going for the flip reset, goes for the bump. Rebound out to the middle, Scrub. He gets stuffed.
And the Peeps dogfight in the middle of their net just to not get bumped and get that ball to safety. Dangerous and hard fought. But they have pushed it all the way back to the Vitality half, looking for the cross, but the only people there are orange cars. Missed off the ceiling for Gyro. Towards the net, off target, bounces free though. Here comes Reddles, wants the top right corner to force them to stay on the ground. Gyro was there for the demo, and if the placement was on, Vitality was done.
So much speed on that shot. Blasting through the backboard defense. Peeps inching closer and closer to that goal. They're keeping Vitality in their own half.
Some great challenges from Gyro. Trying to get this ball in front, and still, now here's the physical play from the Peeps, constantly trying to get that ball dug out of the corner and just hit somebody on the line and force Vitality out of position. Missing the touch means Fairy Peak has an option. Ends up in Gyro's hands. Scrubkilla takes his time.
A lot of time there to decide what to do with it. Now he's going in for that bump, decides to bail out.
Fairy Peak down across. K-Dop has to go and get it off the wall. Gyro's there for Reynolds. Touch up for Mist, and it's a race to the ball. It's over Scrubkilla's head. Can they get 2 touches? Fairy Peak drops it down. Gyro has a tight angle into the post, and the Peeps will take game 2.
Remember what I said about the backboard? Well, it's wide open. Fairy Peak, he actually got a hit on that. What an incredible read from him, but still, the Peeps getting the read off his touch and attacking the net. And that backboard assault eventually paying off.
They finally caught Vitality, not in position to handle it in the most optimal way. Forced Fairy Peak to make a tough read. Oh, so close.
And I mean, Fairy Peak, it wasn't even the worst of hits. He had to back up his teammate. Tries to get that ball over to the side, but still, Gyro just having the tournament of his life.
That is the truth. Man popped off in the Mouse series, and a strong follow-up to put that one away and seal game 2 and keep themselves in this series and feeling good about their approach. So it took 3 minutes, 11 seconds, but the Peeps hold on, and what an adjustment.
Absolutely. Game 1, Vitality controlled everything. They were letting the Peeps overcommit. They were denying the backboard and then just kickstarting those counterattacks, finding K-Dop on the wall, Scrubkilla attacking from the middle. But game 2 was just a different story. We saw the Peeps make some adjustments. That wasn't happening any longer. We saw the Peeps going for the infield passes, and they were getting blocked, but still, well. Yeah, they were getting closer. This one was such a close game. The Peeps are hanging right in there with Vitality.
And I really must say, I am impressed at the Peeps' ability to continuously generate shots. I mean, there was over 10 shots from the Peeps in that second game. I don't even remember 11 in the first. But the fact that the Peeps are able to push that ball onto Vitality's half with such relative ease, although it doesn't always result in a quality goal-scoring opportunity, just putting pressure on defenses is a tough enough task, especially against a team like Vitality.
You're absolutely right, but still, the speed that the Peeps were able to play at, it eventually broke through.
Strong clear from Mist. However, Fairy Peak ready for it, and Scrubkilla delivers a strike into the bottom right-hand corner.
A beautiful center ball here from Fairy Peak. Right off the bounce, sends it across net. Scrubkilla jumping out of the way of Gyro and just slots that in the bottom corner.
That wasn't even a bad touch from the Peeps. I mean, it got right out in front of their net, all the way out to the side wall, and Fairy Peak just in the right place, and a great pass. Even better shot. What can you do?
Scrub, he's you know, a lot of times out there in the middle waiting for his chance.
Nice bump from Gyro in the net, but still K-Dop the only one there. No early equalizer opportunity. Pass to Fairy Peak. Mist will take that away. Gyro figuring out how to help out wherever this ball goes. It's going to come straight down, but the only people there again, Vitality. Feels like the Peeps really scared to play that big, risky offense like Cloud9 will play.
I mean, we already saw it bite them earlier in game 1. They conceded all those counterattack goals, so
they don't want to open themselves up to that again.
Absolutely not.
Missed. Cut left. Gyro gonna try. He won't push Scrubkilla. But what? I thought Gyro was going for the bump, but now he just wanted to get all the way around the ball for the pass.
Reynolds, he and Gyro on the same page. Just a pass. You can't ask for a better pass than that. That is the dream ball, and Reynolds doesn't let him down. The finish coming through for the Peeps.
Beautiful cross. Excellent finish. Clinical from the Peeps. But Vitality still not ready to give up just yet. Pass into the middle. Shot from Mist, and nice stop from Fairy Peak. Scrubkilla with a little bit of space to himself. Reynolds already there and waiting. Strong midfield defense the Peeps have set up. K-Dop not the best touch, but Scrubkilla bails him out.
Well handled by Reynolds there. He only had 10 boost. Was able to slow down that play, allow his teammates to take over control.
Oh, Reynolds has a chance. Par, and just too high. Kind of just fell into his lap. That's one of those get up, try and take the shot, but if you're not ready for it, it's tough to place it. Ooh, big miss from Reynolds. Nice cover up though, demoing Scrub Killer, getting in K-Dop's way as well. Still finds the pass to Fairy Peak. Hard shot, nice stop from Mist.
Another chance. Scrub Killer.
Oh, what a pass back. Oh, so close for Vitality. It was pretty. The finish not on the mark.
Yeah, we saw the pass from Scrub Killer a little bit behind K-Dop, but K-Dop was able to dish it right back. Vitality, close call for them. The Peeps escaping without a scratch.
K-Dop off the corner, he's got Fairy Peak. Met by Gyro at the midfield line, missed to clean up on the wall. Gyro. Easy save for K-Dop. Reynolds out of his own corner. Reynolds into the midfield. Shot by Mist over, not quite K-Dop's head, able to get the nose on it. Gyro into the corner of Vitality. And finally, a little bit of space to work with means Vitality earns the ball back. Winning a few challenges, Fairy Peak needs to get this ball all the way across. Gyro will take it off the backboard to safety.
Good challenge though from K-Dop to keep this ball in play. And also Mist, smart positioning. He saw K-Dop coming for that bump. So the Peeps expecting that aggression from Vitality. Reynolds cutting off that angle.
Scrub Killer working his magic in the corner, and now a chance for K-Dop down to Fairy Peak into the net. It's ace from Vitality.
I love this play from K-Dop. Forget the shot. He saw Fairy the whole way, the French connection, and Fairy Peak puts that just under the bar.
And Fairy Peak and K-Dop just today have been hooking up left and right for goals. And it really is rewind to a couple of years ago, watching those two play offense in the 2v2 arena, and boy, does it come to play here.
Can't argue about that synergy, that chemistry that those two have.
Gyro back pass, maybe a little unintentionally, catching everybody on the Peeps unaware. Nice fake challenge from Reynolds, though. Throws Fairy Peak for a loop. Gyro to delay. Scrub Killer. Pressure, has one at the top of the box. Won't be able to dish it out, but still able to get a challenge as Fairy Peak. Skips over one. Reynolds, does he want the pass? Not K-Dop won't even let him attempt it.
Just waited a split second too long on making the play. But now, Mist taking this ball downfield. He's going to be all out of boost, though. He'll give up, have to retreat.
Solid challenge from K-Dop. Just a delaying touch from Gyro. Mist needs boost. Actually, he gives it up. Scrub Killer goes for the demo. Fairy Peak is looking for how to get this ball out to K-Dop, and he will just have to come at it from the midfield line. Great recovery effort from the Peeps on defense.
The Peeps, we saw against Mouse, they never gave up, even as time was winding down. Well, time is winding down here, down by one. Vitality.
Oh, here's Gyro. Flip reset. Doesn't get all the power on it. Pushes out K-Dop, though. Reynolds, if he can reach it, so close. Pinched back down the other way, and the last chance will start from the Peeps half.
That demo from Scrub, denying that pass, but Reynolds comes up for it, and it touches the ground. Vitality getting the win, but another close game.
Nail biters for Vitality, but they find themselves leading the series 2-1, and the Peeps kept to a significantly lower shot count this game, only able to find the back of the boards one time.
But that one goal that they did find was a thing of beauty, that pass from Gyro over to Reynolds.
And Vitality's goals as well. Two excellent series of passes to get it by the Peeps defense.
Absolutely, that pass from K-Dop down to Fairy, there was a net full of defenders.
Yeah.
All three of them were there. And we'll get a look at all these plays. Fairy Peak, the center ball to Scrub, and you saw Gyro running out of boost just as he gets to the challenge. And then this play, K-Dop down. You saw Gyro was expecting a shot potentially.
Fist bumps, well deserved for Vitality. Great vision from both teams involved. Gyro with the hard cut into the midfield for Reynolds was a strong passing play as well. So game 3 requiring some offensive brilliance and strong execution. And Vitality proved better in that department in this one.
Yeah, and if you ask, multiple people, who do you think the best player on the Peeps is? A lot of people would say Mist. People think Mist has a lot of talent, a lot of skill, but Gyro, he has been the one who's been making most of these high-impact plays.
Today, absolutely. I would 100%.
If Mist can start getting involved, because I know he has that ability, then the Peeps can start bringing this back. They're already close enough, but it seems right now Vitality just has the slightest of edges above them.
Well, a chance to equalize the series here in game 4. And Vitality not gonna let them off the hook easy. Gyro has to wait, miss from Fairy Peak, lets him advance a little further. And K-Dop, just to buy time, just pokes it out into the corner. Vitality figuring out how to dig this ball out. And the Peeps more than content to keep throwing it into their own corner. Finally break out. Reynolds off the backboard. Fairy Peak misses. Gyro lets it go for missed. And K-Dop, huge save coming in out of the middle of the pitch. Gyro trying to get all the way around that ball to throw K-Dop off the scent. Steals away that Peeps corner boost as well.
Missed backing up into that ball.
Set up for Gyro. Doesn't have the cleanest takeoff angle though, and has to dish it into no man's land, which means free ball for Vitality.
And Mist was in position, expecting a pass down from Gyro. The boost starts to run low for the Peeps.
K-Dop not even gonna worry about this ball, will just control the midfield boost. He knows they really don't have much follow-up chance. And Fairy Peak will just push it all the way back down, and this is where Vitality are good. Controlling the boost, Peeps keep long cleared at him. Vitality knows they'll win that game eventually.
See how Gyro handles this, gets hit by the first player of Vitality, getting bumped now out of the play, floating ball above net. No one from Vitality decided to go for that.
You could feel the Peeps thinking, are they there? Are they there? Are they there? And then no one jumped, and so everyone kind of settled down. They let it fall as slowly as they could. They've earned themselves a little bit of space. Missed, actually won't have a chance at it. K-Dop goes into the middle. Reynolds keeps it close, and actually immaculate effort on defense. If he hits that any harder, I'm not sure if he can make the follow-up touch. Around for Gyro, and punished.
And this is something you never want to see. Is a player trying to take the ball across their own net. Fairy, that little touch there, just put it out of his reach. Wasn't expecting it to get hit into him. And Gyro, he was just in the middle waiting. He saw that play developing.
Do it, I dare you.
And they did it.
And the Peeps with an early lead here in game 4 to try and equalize the series. Fairy Peak looking for K-Dop. Gets a little much of it, and it'll be Peeps' ball. Great pressure from K-Dop, scrub kill awaiting. Nice second effort from Gyro, and a great challenge as well, falling on the ball to just push it out onto the Vitality half. Again, trying to go across the net. Double commit for Vitality will give the Peeps plenty of time and space.
I love that play from Gyro. You said it, that late effort on the ball took Scrub out of the play. He was able to beat 2 defenders, but again, full field counterattack. K-Dop being the spearhead this time.
And Scrub just pushing that all the way up, and Reynolds and Gyro get caught going for the same boost. Nobody goes to net first, and that leaves the smallest of opportunities, and Vitality's sinking.
And a tough shot for K-Dop. He had to just sit there, and he just jumped straight up. He didn't really have any movement at all, just predicting right where that ball was gonna be. And not only that, but getting that well-placed shot on top of it. Tough play there for K-Dop, but he delivers.
Nice challenge from Mist, gets the ball out to Reynolds with space. Can't beat Scrub Killer cleanly. Bouncing into the middle, Fairy Peak out to the side. K-Dop is gonna be late to this ball, as is Scrub Killer. Missed in a race, wins it. Peeps on the offensive press. To the corner, Reynolds looking for help, and just pressure being applied from Vitality. Makes him so hesitant, but a bouncing touch. Mist goes for the back post, gets too much around it though. And a decent scoring opportunity, but it really did demand perfection if it wanted to be in. And finally, Vitality. Slight reprise here. Finally pushing the Peeps out of their own half. Scrub Killer to himself over the top, and Reynolds.
And again, Reynolds continues to just play staunch defense. We saw him stand tall in that 2v1 attack, and then again here now on the offensive, gets the shots! K-Dop had no boost left! And Reynolds, after that defense, showing us his offensive muscles.
K-Dop needed the time. Scrub Killer just didn't find a touch on the ball, just able to tip it around and was missed. And you said get him involved and they'll have success. Well, he's got 2 assists. Vitality needing to find another answer. Reynolds for Mist, looking for the right-hand side, and just to delay the Vitality exit strategy, taps it off the backboard. Gyro into the middle, Scrub Killer on the dribble. Mist just trying to get in his face so he can force the option out of it.
And he was able to steal that mid boost as well, right out from Scrub's fingertips.
Gyro, again, always doing some big plays to get that
Double
ball
commit.
into the middle. Pass into the middle, missed, is just too close, can't make the adjustment.
Too much speed from that pass from Reynolds. Just a lighter touchdown might have been enough, but Reynolds was trying to take advantage of that double commit as quickly as possible.
And the Peeps definitely trying their hardest whenever that ball gets stuck on the wall. Push it out into the middle, give themselves as many options as possible. Gyro, kicked upfield. Scrub Killer just wants his corner boost and a challenge. Barry Peak, pushing upfield, trying to figure out where this clear is going. Reynolds already there for it. Hard cut, over one. Gyro thinks better, decides to wait for the clear. Not the strongest tap, but Mist is the only person in position for this ball. 12 seconds, can the Peeps hold on? Last chance for Vitality starts about now. Mist, just missing the chance to put it away. Tap up the wall, and here's Vitality. It's got to come out of their own corner. Tipped forward for K-Dop. Can't get it through, and that is the Peeps coming out and tying it up.
Great speed from Mist there to end it. And I thought this was a great game from Reynolds as well. Defensive stops, getting the goals, the assists from Mist. But even at the end there, Reynolds, that flick out of the way, you know, he's so good at that, baiting in those defenders, getting the flick past them. And the Peeps, it wasn't a fluke, Achieves. It was not a fluke that they've made it here. And they are trying to prove that yet again. These guys playing like they've got a chip on their shoulder.
You got to give them all the credit in the world. To be honest, I was sitting there in the back in between series, and I was like, I don't know if the Peeps have what it takes to hang.
It almost,
with
you know,
Vitality.
you think back to the River Rats journey. You think, you know,
They're good.
You know, they're good, but it's got to end somewhere. And for the River Rats, it did, but for the Peeps,
It keeps going.
it does. They are the real deal.
It keeps going, and it continues on here in Game 4 with some great passing plays. Just Mist digging it out. Gyro understanding exactly the options available to the defense with a punishing goal. And then Mist beating Scrub Killer, just not buying enough time for K-Dop to make it all the way back. And that was all it took for the Peeps to get it to a 2-2 scoreline. So Game 5 on Neo Tokyo. Can the Peeps do it again?
Just one goal games achieves one goal multiple times. All that's separating the Peeps from Vitality. After that game one, the Peeps just seem to have figured out Vitality.
But Vitality has definitely not made it easy. They have definitely demanded Peeps play a consistent, near-perfect game of Rocket League if they want to win. And that is exactly what you expect out of your world champions, is even that recovery effort. The first touch from Scrub wasn't too good, but he sets up a pass to K-Dop, and they almost just drive the length of the pitch. Very Peak to himself, denied by Reynolds.
Some time here for the Peeps. We'll see what they do with it. Off the backward chance for Gyro, and he puts that wide. You can't miss opportunities like that. We saw multiple choices there. Could have gone for the pass, shot, decided to go for the shot. It ended up in a rebound, and Gyro just couldn't make the hit.
Sometimes you focus too much on the placement side of it, but oftentimes you have to. Because if you don't, someone's going to make one heck of a save. And the Peeps trying to just see what K-Dop gives them there on the challenge. Hesitating. Really willing to let Vitality show their hand before they do anything. Pass into the middle for Reynolds. Scorcher of a shot. K-Dop already in position, down to Scrub. And mistouch means here come the Peeps. Bounce around. Gyro waiting again. It won't get there. Reynolds will slam it home.
And they love to just keep bouncing this off the walls, hoping that players miss. And K-Dop, or was that, I think
it was
Scrub. Or Scrub Kill, yeah, that had just missed that in the corner. And it leaks out for Reynolds.
It was K-Dop with the pass out, thinking Scrub's gonna just boom that somewhere up the pitch, and just missed it. And the Peeps willing to dive at any little opportunity given to them, and it pays dividends there. Nice fake from Scrub. They've got the bump set up as well, but still Gyro able to make the save.
And you saw that bump play coming in. Gyro didn't really have any boost. That might have helped him mind game that whizzing Vitality player right there. Was able to dodge the demo, get the save.
Scrub Killer gonna try and force Mist off the ball, can't find contact. Barry Peak on the sidewall looking for the pass down all the way across, and nobody there. Scrub Killer ran away. K-Dop cross to Scrub. He's got two options here, but Mist won't let him pick both. Just slams his face into the ball, and that really is the Peeps' best approach. Vitality really doing their best to search for their teammates, and someone is always up to try and challenge, and another miss from Vitality. But it's okay, they're still in the safety of their corner.
That was a scary moment as well. You see Gyro going for the demos. The Peeps just playing fast, hitting the ball hard. Recipe for success for them.
And punished, so Scrub and Fairy Peak double commit, and K-Dop has to dodge a demo here as on the rotate back, runs into Mist, loses all his momentum, has no boost, and the Peeps are up 2-0.
And a beautiful shot from Mist, stepping up, really making his presence be felt in these past couple of games. That shot, just wonderful.
Not out of the woods yet are the Peeps, though. 2.5 minutes is a ton of time for a team like Vitality. And Scrub, great pressure. Fairy Peak to support, misses the pass. Here comes K-Dop, though. They're not done yet. Clear and score!
And you saw K-Dop getting this goal because his teammates just helping him out here. Look at Scrub and Fairy both targeting the enemy players. You saw Bump coming out, and then also Mist had to dodge Fairy Peak, who was coming in for the hit, clearing that path to the goal line. Vitality getting a goal thanks to that physicality, but they are still behind. Time winding down. This has been a close series. One-goal games time and time again, and it's looking like it'll be another one.
They give themselves tons of time to do it, but will it happen? K-Dop into the middle. Riddles and Gyro both in terrible spots, but calm, cool, collected doesn't matter. Fairy Peak smashes it home. It's tied.
Oh, the sweet demo tree bearing fruits that Vitality can't keep themselves away from. As another demo, then the dunk coming in. Vitality tying it up just like that.
And just out of nowhere, the Peeps gonna have to find something else. 2-goal lead. Halfway through the game, you're feeling pretty decent, like you can hold on to it in the space time of 45 seconds. You're back locked up. And so Vitality looking to put the hammer on them and put the Peeps on match point and see if they can handle that level of pressure.
Yeah, this is a big swing game here. It's been neck and neck up to this point. Like you said, the next win, putting you on match point with such a grueling series that this has been.
Nice pass for Mist for Riddles. Gyro sizing it up. There's the bounce into the middle. There he comes. Gyro off the ceiling, not quite. It's awkward ball for Fairy Peak. Still finds the pass to Scrub Killer. K-Dop is demoed, but Scrub has something planned, and Riddles tips it out to the corner. A close play for Vitality, and they have to give the ball up.
Scrub was ready for that dunk. He was so close to making that play happen. That was an incredible effort, but coming up short. We're now under that final minute.
Pressure from Vitality. They all run away to grab some boost. Missing the clear out of the midfield line puts K-Dop in a tough challenge spot. Fairy Peak avoiding a demo in the net. Thankfully, K-Dop the only one there for the ball in the midfield. Mist brings it down. Misses the flick. Gyro is now having to buy a lot of time. Gives it right back to Scrub Killer, though. Far post. Riddles bails him out.
And Scrub goes for the shot instead of the pass for Fairy. Now it's the Peeps' turn.
Riddles one-on-one. Scrub Killer can't get the double tap. Comes into the ground, and actually it's going to be K-Dop who tries to take the shot. Bounces off the ceiling. Second effort, can't find it. Vitality so close to finding gold. Here comes Scrub Killer now. Delicate effort, can't reach it. This knows the octane just too short, and the Peeps have a chance to go to overtime. Mist just trying anything to get this ball onto the ground. Peeps need salvation, and Vitality just don't want to give it up.
And now still up in the air. Will they let it hit? They do, and we've got overtime in Game 5.
So the Peeps looking to put all the pressure on Vitality. And in return, K-Dop gets bumped off of a play. Fairy Peak to keep the pressure on. Here comes Scrub Killer. Goes for the pass off the wall. Oh, so close to finding the corner. K-Dop will have no chance. And the Vitality has to look elsewhere.
And it can't be understated how important touches like that are from Riddles. Instead of letting that ball bounce out, he doesn't even have much time to react, but he gets such a great touch on it to get that ball out of harm's way. And now now just one goal. That's all it's going to take to get the W in Game 5.
K-Dop smashes one, looking top right, saved by Gyro. Reynolds now looking for the pass, read by Fairy Peak. Gyro needs boost, he won't have a lot of time. Thankfully it spawns, and here comes K-Dop. Drips it down onto the ground, Fairy Peak gives up. Missed, strong clear, Reynolds not there though. Gonna track it down, wants the fake, there's Reynolds, Gyro will think better, he'll wait his turn just to buy some time. He didn't want to try and force anything that wasn't there and get counterattacked.
You're absolutely right, Reynolds and Mist had both committed heavily. Gyro just wanted to spend time in that corner to allow his teammates to get out and get boost.
Scrub and K-Dop figuring out how they want this. Mist will just steal it off his nose, track it down into the corner. Can't find the bump, but it's Gyro. He's gonna leave it for Reynolds. Popped off the backboard. It's a tough play for Fairy Peak. Here comes Reynolds, smashes it. Can't find double tap, bounce it out into the corner. Vitality will escape.
And now Gyro again with the setup. He's gonna chase this down. Going for the hit off the steal in the dunk and the follow-up hit.
Reynolds.
Now the bump on K-Dop out of the net. The Peeps all out assault. And they come up just short, but they're still going.
But finally some gaps for Vitality. Hard bounce. Here's K-Dop. Reynolds beats him to it. Scrubkill is too far forward. Needs this touch. Out to the middle and way over Gyro's head. Back towards his own corner. Mist is in trouble. Tips it. Great pinch. And my goodness, two huge touches from Vitality and Peeps.
And we just saw back-to-back touches where they just send it in the complete opposite direction. Now Scrub last back, going for the double tap. Gyro cuts off the play.
Critical touch for the Peeps, and they're not done. Vitality still pressing. Here comes Scrubkiller, wants the touch down to himself. Maybe a ground tip. Fairy Peak trying to get it back into his nose. And Vitality still just challenging everything out of the midfield. Scrub trying to get to that ball despite not having the best angle, and Mist has a little bit of space. And thank you for a breath of fresh air.
But Gyro low on boost. Fairy the drop down to K-Dop. K-Dop shot blocked by Mist.
Huge defensive effort from the Peeps again. Vitality still circling, not the strongest clears, and they just have to try and force things.
You see the Goomba from Reynolds. Now Gyro all alone yet again.
Oh, what a save. Just, that's all he could do, and thankfully able to get pushed to the corner by Mist. And finally, Vitality flubbed the transfer of the ball, and that should be enough time for them to grab boost, but a demo will force them to have to play this long and give up possession again.
Fairy Peak. Big clear right to Scrub, but Scrub doesn't make contact. Now Reynolds misses the ball as well. Gyro has to help him out.
K-Dop and Fairy Peak both cut forward for that though, which means it gets pushed all the way back. Does that mean the Peeps can hang on to it and in the midfield out to the side? Scrub's got the boost and the ball. Shot on target. Oh, Reynolds off the crossbar. Scrub goes for the bump. Fairy Peak can't finish. Gyro again there to bail him out.
And another close call. Peeps on life support right now, but they're hanging in there, keeping these attacks from Vitality at bay. But now another shot from K-Dop, saved again by Mist.
Reynolds with no boost. They just need anything to anywhere that isn't a Vitality player. Gyro racing for the ball, and here comes Mist. Trying to keep it close. Great bump from Scrubkiller, trying to push Vitality off the ball. The Peeps just want anything that means, can we hang on to it for more than 2 seconds?
The Peeps just looking for their opportunity, their opening. Vitality.
Oh, they caught another Peak! What is this? Drop down, Scrub and K-Dop, and Fairy Peak too close. Can't recover, and fortune favors the Peeps.
It certainly does. A misstep there. K-Dop coming down from the sky, hits it into the Peeps player. And that's how overtime ends. Just over 4 minutes, and the Peeps catching a break. But you know what, Chiefs? They were keeping shot after shot out of net. Bold defense, and sometimes it goes your way. And you know what? It doesn't matter if it was a little fortunate. They put themselves in that position where they could get fortunate with that shot.
And this isn't the last time we've seen Vitality be in this position. It's happened before in this tournament already. And they came back and still won that series.
And what a series this has been so far. What a day, and what a tournament it has been. So many series coming down to the wire, and this feels like it's going to be another one.
And it was so close. Vitality with a ton of great chances. And finally, just tried to get a little too cute with it and got just punched right back into their own net, and so the Peeps will hold advantage for games 6 and 7. You can see Scrub at the top of your screen. He's ready to go.
I mean, you know, those ones hurt. Competitors like Scrub, K-Dot, Ferry, they want to just get right back on the field right away, roll it back. I'm sure they feel like that game was stolen from them.
Oh, absolutely. Pure thievery by the Peeps, because considering the pressure, you thought for sure Vitality was going to punch something home, but you're dead right. Stunner saves from the Peeps towards the end of that overtime. Keep them alive just enough. And a chance to start off game 6 with a great play. He's bumped into position, and Ferry Peak will tip his cap. Thank you very much.
And with how difficult it's been to score in this series, they'll take it. Ferry even getting bumped there a little bit. Not a strong clear from Gyro. And Ferry Peak able to just get a quick goal off kickoff. And now the Peeps gonna have to battle back from behind. But they are one game away from the grand finals, an all-NA final.
And knocking off the world champs to boot. K-Dot won't let him do it quietly, though. He just comes in, steals the pass, and it's 2-0 Vitality.
And if there's one team that knows how to take down NA, it is certainly Vitality. You think back to the World Championship, slaying the Big Three to get their title. Now is when they will be tested. They're down 2 games in the series, or they need to get those 2 games in the series to get the win. They're back to the wall. See if they answer the call.
K-Dot across his own net, Scrub into the middle. Ferry Peak gonna have to battle for possession. Tips it to the relative safety of the sidewall. Booming clear for Vitality, and I'm curious if they'll stick with that strategy. Just clear it all the way up. Gyro applying pressure, denied in the middle of the box. Because this type of play, I mean, Vitality can sit here and launch the ball all the way up and down the pitch for 4 minutes.
Certainly can. These guys so mechanically gifted. Rarely do they make a mistake. And you know, that's the Peeps love to also play that high speed, high power Rocket League where they try to force those mistakes. They have been able to force a few, especially against Mouse.
And it does seem to happen, like the mistakes Vitality make occur in communication. And when things really get in those situations where you need a touch to happen, that's when they fall apart. But actually, somehow the Peeps able to sneak a pass into the middle of the pitch, and it's 1-2.
And it seemed like Vitality might be getting back into this series, and you know, seems like they might have been getting the lead here, but the Peeps inching closer, getting that infield passing play, moving within 1.
And so they give themselves a nice, fairly quick get back into the game goal. A lot of time on the clock, and the Peeps can rest assured saying, well, we had to score 2 anyway.
And you see those 2-goal swings all the time in Rocket League. And even those 0-second goals.
A lot of time here for Vitality, and that is just bombed up the pitch and just barely saved by Reddles. Scrubkill is going to not actually have the opportunity to take it back to his own half. Ferry Peak took it away on accident, and now it's the Peeps with a scoring chance. Gyro off the back wall. Here's missed. Yes, sir. 2-2.
The Peeps full field counterattack after the immaculate Reddles save. Miss up to Gyro. Gyro off the back. Missed coming right back up and getting that goal slapped right into the net. And Peeps tying this one up immediately. It seemed like Vitality was going to be, you know, responding to the call, but no, the Peeps shut them right back down. They refused to back down from a fight.
It's exactly what I was saying, though. It's the errors from Vitality occur in communication. Scrubkiller wanted to take that ball back to his own corner to hang on to it. Ferry Peak wanted to push it out to the side, and they ended up countering each other's intentions, which resulted in a Peep scoring chance. And now they've got another one, tipped to safety by Scrubkiller, and Vitality is just struggling to find a gap to put this ball through.
A good back pass from Mist to Gyro. And you don't really see this too often. A team that makes a run like this, you expect their confidence to run out, or like Turtle was saying, that satisfaction to creep in. And they start to let off the gas, but the Peeps seemingly have infinite boost. They have just been, you know, refusing to let up this entire tournament.
Reddles up to the corner, Ferry Peak. Can't sneak it by. K-Dot to himself. Actually, for Scrubkiller, just pushes one towards the top corner. Tough ball to meet for Mist and gives it out to Reynolds pretty much perfectly. Mist on the bounce. K-Dop won't have to worry about a demo coming through. Gyro pressing hard, but misses, and that is a long clear for Vitality. Pushing Reynolds off the ball. Fairy Peak towards the top of the net. Skies it up, and they will not find it under the bar. The Peeps get away.
But a very good bump from Scrub there to open up that chance. Vitality and Peeps. What a battle it's been.
Oh, here we go. K-Dop, back post, and just not fast enough. Missed. No problem.
Every game coming down to the wire. We're approaching the final minute. We're tied up. The battle just continues to rage on.
Fairy Peak with space. Pushes one towards the net. There's Scrub Killer waiting off the ceiling. Gyro should have this, but it's not a good clear. Everybody up for the Peeps, but able to find salvation, a touch into the corner, and a welcome boomer from Mist. Continued by Reynolds. Return fire for Vitality. Here comes K-Dop. This is a tough one to deal with, and Gyro off the backboard.
Gyro taking his hand at defense. Reynolds has been so rock solid on the back line. All of the Peeps just stepping up in the biggest of moments.
K-Dop again with space, going for that. Again, huge clear up the pitch. Fairy Peak back towards his own half. Tough target. Easily met by Scrub Killer. Free ball, finally a chance to slow it down. K-Dop to Scrub, and Reynolds can't reach it. 3-2 Vitality.
What a lovely pass here. K-Dop goes for the kill. The ground pass to Scrub, who just drives into it with all his might, launching it downfield.
Devastating blow for the Peeps. Only 22 on the clock. Looking down the barrel of Game 7, Vitality score a banger. Gyro on a dribble. He's had great success with this in this tournament. Trying to bump off Scrub Killer, but acrobatics to just dive around the car, still make the touch, and waste precious time.
Reynolds just beat two players.
Reynolds needs a pass. Actually, how about a shot? Fairy Peak gets the nose on it, but not done yet. Still rolls up into the middle, and that is missed on target. You've got to be kidding!
Who is writing this script? The Peeps at 0 seconds. They refuse to back down. Fairy Peak, you thought he had made the save. He launches it over the corner. What are we witnessing?
Game 6 overtime. Let's see it. Vitality thought they had it in the bag, couldn't muster the final clear, and now they've got a battle for one more goal. Scrub towards the wall. Tough play for Reynolds. Misses, and that's K-Dop denied. Missed on the second chance. Off the corner, and that is out. How do the Peeps do it?
Back-to-back saves. And this is giving Vitality flashbacks to the previous game, where the Peeps in overtime, like Masons, just built a brick wall on their goal line.
Clear up to Reynolds. K-Dop, a lot of time to work with. Goes right towards Mist, still right through him. Vitality looking for something. K-Dop misses the pass. Denying that midfield boost could net them just enough in the tank to continue the attack, especially with a big miss, but Scrub's a little late. K-Dop, easy save for Gyro. Scrub Killer into the middle. Missed, gonna be the first one there. Fairy Peak wisely waits. Reynolds off the mark by a long shot. Missed! Save! Scrub Killer does it again!
Scrub Killer keeping the hopes alive. As K-Dop now leading the counterattack, just launches that in. Reynolds with another big clear.
Oh, tough ball. Oh, beautiful save from Fairy Peak. Scrub Killer to continue. Gyro lifts one. K-Dop can't reach it! The Peeps go to the grand finals!
You cannot write a better script than this. The Peeps, an unsponsored team, a team coming out of the rival series against the defending world champions. They're losing in the final seconds. Time is off the clock, and they do the unthinkable.
Miracle workers, James. Miracle workers. Celebrations for many in the crowd, and disappointment for the world champions. Tough break for Vitality.
What do they put in the water in Montreal? What is happening this weekend?
I don't know, James. I don't know, but I want some of it. Because now all I want to do is let's see this grand final.
I'm at a loss for words, Chiefs. This is a tournament that will go down in the history books,
To say the least.
and now the Peeps will go on to take on one of the big three, G2, a powerhouse. But the Peeps, they figured out the formula for success. I cannot wait to see this grand final.
Well, it'll be Cinderella versus a grand finalist. Let's go ahead and see it. But before that, let's run it back to the desk for a moment. Take it away.
Hello, there we go. Thank you very much, guys. Oh my goodness, you heard it there from James Vibe that he feels like this will go down in the history books. Well, I would like to give everybody a bit of a warning. History has been made here, but this has so much gravity that personally I don't feel like I even have the right to deliver it. So Gibbs, please inform everybody what we have now achieved.
4 years of Rocket League esports, about 3.5 worth of majors. We have never had a North America versus North America Grand Finals. And we've talked about for the last 2 years, the big three, Cloud9, Energy, and G2. Well, it's the Peeps, baby. The Peeps are in the Grand Finals versus G2. For the first time ever, North America has the main stage to themselves.
It's historic, and what a better team to do it than the Peeps, the underdogs right now of the tournament of North America, pulling through. I mean, Greg had talked yesterday about being resilient, and Vitality was resilient. They were constantly putting pressure, but they didn't let up.
Those overtime saves,
I know.
For Game 5 overtime, it was magic. It was absolutely magical. It looked like Vitality could not score. And then it was just a random pinch. Random pinch goes in, and you see Scrub throw his
he's
arms
just
up.
so
The
over
ball's
it.
not even in yet.
My goodness.
That's the magic of the Peeps right now with this magical
that
run.
own goal was literally like a stab to the heart, like for Scrub, and you could see it bleeding for the rest of the series. Ever since that point, I was like, oh, no.
Then even Game 6, Vitality's like, all right, we'll score 2 goals in the first 30 seconds. This is going to Game 7. Peeps like, nah, hold on. We're not done. A 0-second goal to go to overtime.
It was amazing. Again, we've talked about some DreamHack magic, and we've referred to potential Echo Zulus and things of the like, but this is unlike anything we have gotten so far this year at DreamHack. And I don't, there is nothing to say other than it feels like this was impossible.
And a shout out to the 4th man for the Peeps. Not Moopy necessarily, the crowd behind the Peeps was energizing them throughout the entire series. We see those signs everywhere. The Peeps were riding that. We're definitely riding that crowd.
I mean, every single play from this series was just Peeps defense, counterattack, and right here, this was the stab. K-Dub, I think did he have the flip reset? Because he hit, I was wondering, he hit the ball with the bottom of his car. He could have flipped out maybe.
It was just the saves, and like, then we see Fairy Peak like as that 3rd man. He would just get confused some of the times because the passes coming out from the Peeps were just so great. Look at that shot.
I thought that game was over.
By Mist, upper 90.
And they had a chance earlier than that to get another goal. And I was like, okay, that was their one chance. And then they still get the 0-second.
And Scrub Killer, one of the fastest on the field, was beat multiple times by the Peeps right there by Gyro.
Fans everywhere in the crowd.
That's you.
And family just loving this out there. It's great.
It is very important to know for anybody who can't truly experience this crowd how heavily weighted that last series was. I posed earlier in the tournament that for some of our newer players, it may be difficult to understand what it is for a crowd to cheer against you, and I can't help but feel Renault Vitality experienced that heavily in that last series. Every ball going in favor of the Peeps, roaring. On the other side, maybe a couple of cheers, but it was not anywhere near equal.
And this is a Vitality who went down 2-1 on day 2 and they battle back and win that series. They've done this so many times before, but the Peeps come into town and the Peeps take them to, it's just crazy.
I mean, what a way to go into league play. The Peeps coming from the rival series, they make it into RLCS, and then now they come to Montreal and they do that and take down the Titans, basically.
All right, we're getting things in the back prepped for our grand finals here. We have no interview because those players, the Peeps, they need to cool their jets, get some stuff in order here and prep themselves for the grand finals here. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and of course, when we come back, the conclusion of DreamHack Montreal.